Howdy, y'all. What's good, everybody? Is that a fucking bee in this room? I got a bee in the studio. I'm a swing on you, boy. Save the bees, but fucking stay your ass away. Welcome to this week's episode of Talks with Taboo, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good week. You deserved a good week. If you're out there and you're listening right now, my new EP, Something for Your Mind, is out now on Wakan. 4 solo tracks, dopest tracks I've ever put out. Go check them out. For real, what are you doing right now? You're listening to a podcast. After the podcast, you go check it out. But my guest this week is one of the most metal dudes in electronic music. He's worked with a lot of really dope metal bands that I'm a big fan of. He just released his EP like a month or two ago, Deadline, and he just had a collab come out with the Excision Man. He was actually on tour with him before COVID happened. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. PhaseOne. Come here, girl, is that ass fat? Let me take my tongue and go bang a dirt track. I met a girl and her booty tastes like strawberries. I swear to God, this could be the one that I'm marrying. Hey, and she's so different. I made that from behind. I met a girl and her booty tastes like strawberries.
Nice.
But we are rolling, my dude. I'm just going to crack open this cold one right here.
Nice. I don't have any beer, unfortunately.
Yeah, what do you like to drink? What's your beer of choice?
Well, I am Australian, so Australians got some pretty good beers. I don't have any right now, but like since moving to America, like you guys have some pretty good like craft beer selections.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like all the craft breweries out in like Colorado. They have some like sick ones. Like me and my friend recently have just been like the Fat Tire Company. Yeah. And they've got like all their different ranges. Like they've got like a triple, which is like super nice. I've been like, fuck with that one. It's pretty good.
So you're more of like a fancy type beer guy, huh?
Maybe. I don't know if that's what you call it. I mean, what do you got? PBR?
Dude, hell yeah. And that's taboo koozie. Yeah,
hey man, I mean like I'll drink a PBR if it's there, don't get me wrong. Like
yeah.
Beer is still beer, like yeah.
I'm a little white trash, bro, so I like that cheap beer. I don't know what it is. It's like cheap wine. I like cheap wine. I like cheap whiskey. I like cheap beer. You give me like a expensive type of wine, I'm like, what is this shit? You know what I mean? You give me a good whiskey, right. I'll drink the good whiskey, but you know what I'm saying?
I love it.
Dude, so what's up, buddy? It's this is funny because I don't know if you remember, the first time you and I ever met, I had booked your tour, the Bear Girls tour that you were on in Jackson, Mississippi, and I did an interview with you and company that never got put out. But yeah, that was the first time we met. So, back at it again 4 years later.
Dude, I know. It was like, I remember doing that now, but then I totally, like, that whole tour was like a whole blur to me. And then it wasn't until like this year when you mentioned it again. I was like, holy shit, that was you. I had like no idea, but that was like, yeah. Because I was like, hey, my name's Graham. Nice to meet you. And you're like, we've met before, bro. I'm like, all right, cool.
You said it's Graham?
Graham, yeah. It's like spelled differently. It's spelled like Graheme, but it's pronounced the same way as like Graham.
Graham? Okay, hell yeah. That's a cool nickname too. I'm
Graham,
Mitch, dude.
Yeah.
I'm Mitch. It's nice to re-meet you, man.
Re-meet you, brother, yeah. How you holding up through all this COVID stuff?
Dude, I'm good right now. I'm just a little hot right now. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I do these podcasts, I turn the AC off so there's not this hum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I get a little hot in here, but you know what? I'll get hot for you, Daddy. It's all good.
Thank you.
But go ahead.
I'm out of Los Angeles as well, so it's like it's pretty warm, but I can imagine it's probably nowhere near as bad as like Mississippi, right?
Yeah, I'm in Louisiana now.
Oh, you live right now? Okay, right.
Yeah,
hence the crawfish thing.
Dude, that was like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. That show was, and I remember them bringing like $500,000 worth of gear into this venue on a Wednesday when there was only like 40 people there.
That was like, I could count on my hands how many people were there. It was like insane.
It was rough.
It was really rough.
I remember.
We had fun though. Like that whole tour kind of bombed really. This is like 4 years ago or something. But we just made the best of it. Like that's when me and Kyle company like hung out for the first time, and we were like on the road for like almost 2 months straight together. So we like became pretty close because of that, and also Dirt Monkey as well.
Yeah, Pat's bitch ass.
So yeah, like we made the best out of a not so good situation, but here we are.
Yeah, dude, I remember telling the person who was booking that show, I was like, hey, like they're like, we want to come through Jackson on Wednesday. I was like, you don't. I was like, you don't. And
yeah, the whole routing of that tour was just kind of all over the place, but
Dude, what is so like being on a tour that's bombing? Are the spirits still high in all that moments right there?
It's like mixed. We drank a lot just to like just to ease the pain, I guess. But
that's what we're all doing.
There's still some good moments. Like we still had some like good shows. Obviously, it was like I think there was like 30 or 40 shows. It's like at least a few of those are going to be good, So
you're gonna have a few good ones.
And that was like one of my first times to America. Like I'd done my own small tours prior to that. But that was like, I just moved to America at that stage, and that was like my first like bus tour, I guess, if you call it that.
Hell yeah.
It was like it wasn't like a bus, it was like one of those Bandcamp wagon, whatever they're called, bandwagon things.
Yeah. Dude, you had just described like every country song story. You said you drank the pain away. It's like every country song ever.
Exactly. Tractors and bitches and beer.
Beer, deer, cold beer, deer again. Truck, Friday night. Did I mention beer? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But dude, the formula works, bro. They're singing about it, and I'm like, hell yeah, bro. I feel that. I feel it on a personal level. It makes me just get, emotional, but also ready to party. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I might go to the trailer park, but I'm gonna have a good time that night.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dude, so you're living in LA, dude. You always haven't lived in LA. When did you move to the States?
So I'm from Australia, obviously. I moved to America in 2017, July. So it's been over 3 years now. It feels like it's only been like a year, but like, fuck, time flies, And then, yeah, I've been pretty much living in LA ever since, like, cause like Disciple, the record label, and with all those guys are here. So like, when I was moving to America, I was like, I didn't have to choose LA, but like, it just made a lot of sense. Cause like one, like everyone I knew was there. And two, it's like normally under normal circumstances, it's like a one flight, like to and from Sydney. It's like pretty easy. It's only like 13 hours or something. Like there's no like layovers or anything. Like, yeah, a casual 13 hours,
like, it's easy.
So yeah, man, it's been 3 years and it's like still kicking out here. Like, it's not much I can really do in terms of traveling and touring right now, but like I've kind of set up here. My girlfriend's an actor, so she needs to be out here as well. And we just got a dog like during this COVID madness. You can see here.
Oh, what's the puppy's name? What's the puppy's name?
Her name is Zelda.
Zelda.
After the video game, obviously.
Yeah, dude, very original. And I'm joking. It's a good name. She didn't name the dog like a human name. Like, this is Steve.
I know. I love that. Yeah, I love it. Being like, hey, Peter. It's like
what? It's always so weird.
So funny.
Hey, this is Bob. We're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what are you doing right here?
This is my dog Cornelius. It's like, what?
Well, I feel like it works. The only reason I feel like it works is because of Planet of the Apes. There's a Cornelius, and Cornelius is an animal. An ape is an animal. I mean, we're all animals. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely an animal. You feel me?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Dude, if you could be an animal, like it not of your choice, but like if the Lord was like, I'm gonna turn him into an animal of what he's closest to, what would that be?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh God, probably a dog. I've always been a dog guy, like all my life. I like grew up with dogs and everything. Yeah, it's actually funny. Like when I was moving to America, I'm like an only child as well. So like I felt bad for like leaving. So like I bought my mom a dog. I was like, hey, here's my replacement, and then I like failed.
Hell yeah, dude! I feel like I'd be an eagle.
An eagle? I like that.
A goddamn eagle, dude. Just freeze a bird.
Soaring,
dude.
soaring through the sky.
Yeah, dude. I was like, you had mentioned Disciple, and I totally like. I didn't even think to talk about that today, but that's so awesome, man. Like,
Oh yeah.
the whole labels down there in LA, man. Do y'all get together a lot, or is there like a Disciple office that y'all like just kick it at, or like what's that relationship like on the daily?
I mean, because of COVID, it's minimized. But pre-COVID, it was like we would hang out pretty much every week. Like we have like basically where the guys live. It's kind of like this kind of a complex area, and like originally they had two of the like townhouses there, so we would just like all go there. And there was like back in the day, it was like Barely Alive, Virtual Riot, like Dublos at the time. And like all the managers like all living kind of like in two places right next to each other.
Wow.
And then we end up getting an office, which is like 5 minutes down the road, which is like this big like warehouse space, which would turn into like this really kind of cool like vibey like office with like there's like pinball machines, there's like CDJs, there's like proper monitors and everything, and like couches and like TVs. It's really cool. So we normally go hang out there, like pretty much almost on the weekly. But since COVID, like we haven't really been doing that.
Yeah,
I guess like I kind of only see a handful of the guys like every so often, just because the whole social etiquette has kind of changed. I guess
Yeah.
sadly.
Dude, that.
But yeah.
Like whenever y'all getting together, are y'all like doing any music stuff together, or y'all just chilling, like playing games or just fucking around?
It's more so just chilling, yeah. Like occasionally, like if a few of us are like working on a song, we'll like do that. Like every year we do like a mega collab as well. So it's like we just get into a studio, like whoever's in LA at the time, we just like get in the studio and just like it's like a mess, but there's like 30 people trying to write one song. It's just like chaos, but it's fun. Like we get to hang out and like talk the shit, So that generally happens every year, but like probably not this year, I guess. I think they did one over Zoom, and they did one online that was like a live thing. So that was like the next best thing, I guess. But yeah, dude, it's pretty chill usually. Like I'll hang out with like I mostly see Barely Alive because like we're tight and our girlfriends are like super tight as well. So I probably see him mostly out of everyone. I've seen the other guys, like we've done a bunch of live streams as well together, but I don't know, man.
Imagining 30 people.
Crazy times.
Imagining 30 people trying to make a dubstep tune, it just sounds like chaos.
Dude, like, I personally think the tunes suck because it's just like...
Too much ideas.
It's not even just that. It's like we give ourselves a time limit as well. So it's like whatever you can do in like 24 hours, that's what we're releasing. If it sucks, we're releasing it. If it's good, even better, So it's kind of like all these ideas trying to happen in like this short time frame is just like all these sounds. It's just like it's a mess. But like the fans like it though. The fans are like, "Fuck yeah, this is crazy." I was like, "All right, cool."
I could see
this is not a song. This is just like noise. Like that's my opinion.
I could see it just getting like all these ideas where like Virtual Riot comes in and he's doing like maybe like some electro vibe, and then the next like 8 bars it's just like drop G fucking 7-string from you just fucking going hard.
Yeah. I mean like it's hard because like most of the other guys don't really do as much heavy stuff as I do. So like I always try and find a way to just incorporate some like chugs in there. Like
hell yeah.
it's difficult for me personally, but like whatever. It is what it is,
bro. Chugs and drugs, you feel me? Dude, nah, that's one of the things. Like, I wanna talk about your music too, man, because like, dude, your EP, it's Deadline's the name of it, right?
That was the recent one, yeah.
Yeah, the recent one, dude. That I'm not even fucking jerking you off when I say this, bro. Like, that's been my favorite EP of the year, man. Fucking don't lose your head. That shit's so catchy.
Oh yeah.
So good, man. So like, whenever I feel like. So since your songs are so, guitar driven, metal driven, is that process a little different than just going in the studio experimenting, or are you starting a song with a guitar in your hand? Like, I want to know that process is like.
Yeah, sometimes with a guitar, sometimes I'll start an idea. Like some of my songs I don't have any guitar just because like not every song calls for it. It's like. It'd be too cliche if I just put guitar in every single song. It's like, all right, we get it. PhaseOne, like
we fucking get it,
bro. But like, there's usually some sort of like influencer or like involved, obviously. But I don't really have any process really. Like I used to play in like a bunch of metal bands like growing up, back when I was like in my teens and early 20s and stuff like that. Before I discovered the EDM. So like I was always doing that for like probably like 10 years or something. And during that time, I was like becoming like a sound engineer as well. Like I went to college and everything. So then I became like the production guy. So I was like recording all my bands, all my friends' bands, and like local artists and stuff like that. And then I found dubstep, and then I was like, ooh, like knowing some like basic production already. Like it was more like audio production, but like I hadn't really like fucked with MIDI a whole lot. So that was kind of like the biggest like learning curve for me, is trying to like learn like sound design and like synthesis and all that sort of stuff. So then, yeah, I started fucking around with dubstep for a few years, and I'm like, you know what? I really miss metal. So then I was like, why not do both? So it's like tried to find a way, and it took me a few years to try and like blend them well, because like this like production styles are very different. Like EDM's like wall of sound and like loud, screechy, high pitched noises and like incredible low sub, and like rock and metal is like pretty like much more dynamic and like more mid range. You don't have a fucking sub in like
it's a bass guitar. You're like, what is that?
You know? Right? Yeah. So it took me a while to kind of merge, like blend them well, because like it's kind of weird having this one kind of like dynamic song go into this loud EDM thing. It's kind of like, So like I end up like rounding off like my bass guitar at like 100 hertz, and then adding like a sub underneath that. Just kind of like it just kind of filled it out a bit, and then like the guitars would be a lot more brighter than like what they would be on like a metal record kind of thing. But just to tie the song together basically. And then like the drums are probably a little bit more harsher. I mean, like I know metal drums are pretty like punchy and clicky already, but like the ones I use are like a little bit more,
a little bit more so than that. Yeah. Dude, I feel like a lot of modern like rock and metal productions kind of taking that flavor too. Like I'm hearing more metal bands where it's just like 808 drops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like just
exactly. And I mean, it's cool. Like I think like
love it.
It's like there's only so much you can do. It's like you may as well start experimenting like with other genres in your music. Like like I've had so many like metal elitists be like, what are you doing to metal? It's like you're embarrassing the genre. I'm like, dude, like think outside the box, dude. It's like everyone's doing like I mean like the opposite example of what I'm trying to do is like these guys are much bigger, but like Bring Me the Horizon, they were like a metal band, and they're like trying to do like more EDM-y stuff, and like it works really well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I love that story about how you were in metal and then came into dubstep, dude, because I toured in metal bands for like a good 6 years. I was a drummer. And,
Yeah.
And you telling that story is kind of refreshing my memory for the first conversation we had years ago. But,
yeah.
Dude, were you ever one of those guys? Because I was one of those fucking guys, bro. where you're playing in metal bands and you hear like these fucking DJs or dubstep and you talking shit about it, right? You're one of those guys. I was one of those guys, dude. I was talking shit about dubstep, and then I went to a show and I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, like I think at the time, like dubstep hadn't really become like popular. Like I'd never even heard of dubstep at the time, because like I think I got into dubstep in like 2009, 10, like the golden age. So before that, I hadn't really heard of it. So like, but like my knowledge of like EDM before that was like techno or like fucking house or whatever. Like that was my knowledge on what this genre was. And it was some DJ standing there like, I didn't really understand. And I think that's what a lot of the elitist problem is like they just don't understand it, and they're too like change is scary, I guess. I don't know. Like, but once you get past that, it's kind of like now I listen to like literally like every genre ever. Like,
hell yeah. I can see it like in the crowd calling the DJ a chode. You're like, this isn't metal. Hell yeah, dude. You listen to every genre, like literally like country music, dude.
But at the same time, though, like I've had other people be like, "Hey, like you introduced me to EDM," like metalheads, like saying that to me, and like vice versa. I've had like EDM kids be like, "Hey, you introduced me to like metal," like thank you. I'm like, not every like hero wears capes, like. Well, my job is done. Like,
here's your fucking trophy, bro. You can quit. Participation trophy. That's awesome, dude. That's fucking tight, man. So I want to ask this: whenever you are doing those tracks that are like very instrument driven, did those tend to take a lot longer to make?
Yeah, just because like my Ableton like session ends up being like that much bigger. Because like, you know, like if I'm just doing like a straight dubstep song, I can probably contain it to like under 100 tracks or whatever, maybe under 50 if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
But like once it's almost like kind of it's almost like kind of do two songs at once, because like the way I route everything is like in the groups, it's like it just adds like it's like two songs in like one session. So like by the end of the session when I'm trying to like render and like just do final touches, it's like lagging and like clipping, like dude, it's like it's rough. But like I make it work, you know.
Hell yeah, man. I've been recording a lot of guitar recently, and I'm just trying to get better at getting that tone, man. Just like the perfect. I'm just using Guitar Rig, but I feel like I'm missing out on so much on getting some nice tones.
Are you just like DIing straight into your 3D interface? Look into STL plugins.
STL, dude.
Like the Will Putney one. Like Will Putney is like the most infamous like guitar like metal engineer of like all time, pretty much. He has like his own plugin called the Will Putney Tonality or something, and it's only like $150. It's like super affordable. It's just like a guitar like amp in your computer.
Hell yeah! And
it's all these different presets. Like there's presets from like all like the studio albums he's worked on, and like you can get like there's preset packs from like all different like guitarists from like Periphery and like Northlane. All those guys have like their own little preset packs and stuff. It's fucking wild. It's like so cheap. Like I was like thinking about investing in a Axe-Fx, which is like $3,000, $2 or $3,000 or something. And I was like, but they're amazing, but like it just didn't make sense for me to spend that much money. And then I was speaking to the guitarist from Northlane, and he's like, dude, don't spend your money on that. Just look into like STL. And I'm like, for like $150, you can get something that sounds like almost as good, dude. It's crazy.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out, man. With VSTs and like even just samples of like just these insanely good sounding guitars, I just get this plugin. It's like strummed. It's a contact instrument plugin, and it's literally acoustic guitar, and it sounds so fucking good, and it sounds so incredibly real. Whenever you're doing some guitar stuff like that, are there times where you can just use a plugin or something and get that guitar tone without actually picking up a guitar?
Yeah, for real. Like for about the last year, I kind of delved into this plugin called Heavier 7-String. It's like a metal kind of like VST plugin. It's just like you can get like drop A. It's like drop A, but like a whole octave lower than that. You can like go really fucking low, and it sounds a little bit fake, but it's like it sounds like realistic enough for like an EDM song. It's like, you know, I use that a lot in like over the last year's productions. I've kind of stopped using it now because like I've kind of just wanted to fucking play guitar again, you know.
Yeah.
But like often I would also layer it. So sometimes I would like do one of those. If it was like a really crazy riff lead I couldn't really play like cleanly, I'll just use that, and it's like, yeah, that'll do. But like I'd often like layer both the VST and the guitar together as well.
You thought about bringing the guitar to the live aspect, like you playing it in your sets?
It's been brought up a lot, but like I think like I'm too busy of a DJ to even like step away for a second to put on a guitar and be like, hey, here's a riff or a solo for like 30 seconds, and then I gotta take it off and run back behind the decks. Like I'm not Sullivan King, you know. I don't like I'm mixing it every fucking like 10 seconds. So like I'm very much like a dubstep DJ or whatever you want to say. Like I'm not just pressing play and just, you know, not saying that Keaton does that, but like, dude, you know, you need to find time in your sets. But like I'm just like I very much like DJing these days. So I like to keep the guitar just more for production, I think, and also I don't want to be compared with him either. You know what I'm saying?
I feel good, dude. You're a dubstep DJ. You're too fucking busy, bro.
My hands are just like this, man. Like
too busy to play the guitar. I'm working too hard over here. Did you not get that, man? I did live drumming, like MIDI drums in my sets for the longest time, and I totally get that. It was just like I was not mixing. I was just playing, and I'm like, all right, this is getting, you know, boring for the crowd, fun for me, but complete opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. Well, we just talked about a whole lot of nerdy shit. All right. On this podcast, it's like a little bit of music, a lot of fuckery. All right. I'm kind of want to get into some fuckery, dude. All right. Just to switch up the vibe, get some goofiness going, dude. All right. So I'm going to say this. Barely Alive, Company. Who's one of your really good DJ buddies? Give me one more.
Virtual Riot, maybe, I guess.
Virtual Riot. You got to kill one, marry one, fuck one. Go.
Fuck. Jesus. Fuck Val, because
which one's that?
Apparently,
Oh.
I would marry Willie because he's very like domesticated and like easygoing. Kyle just has to die, I guess. Unfortunately.
Goodbye, comp.
Sorry, company.
he said he got that long dong silver, bro.
Although. It would have been funny if I had said I would have married Company because he is good company, but that's a really bad joke. I meant
if it was like on the spot, I mean it was, but you delayed it. You know what I'm saying? If you would have went at it, I think it would have been. I think it still hit nice. Actually, I'm not talking shit, dude. Good job on that one. He's good company. I like that.
Can we edit that out? No, I'm kidding.
No,
no
edits. No, I've had to edit out my podcast many of times because I've said shit.
Oh, really?
I've said shit I wasn't supposed to. So.
Really? Shit, yeah. Fair enough.
It happens, bro. but no, man. So who parties harder, dude? The Americans or the Australians?
It's different. Like, I think the Australian. Well, fuck, I don't know. I think the Australians still. Yeah. Americans, like, it's just a different vibe. Like. At a show, like Americans are very much about the whole plur thing, I guess. Like it's very much more of like a hippie vibe. But like the crowds are great, obviously. But at an Australian show, like everyone just like comes up like dressed wearing black and they fucking like mosh like harder than like anyone I've ever seen. It's more of like it feels like a metal show actually. It's like it's funny. It's yeah.
Hell, man.
But nobody comes to shows wearing like colorful things and like tapes on the nipples, whatever. It's not like that at all. It's like it's such an American culture thing, which like I love obviously because like you know.
Yeah, dude, you ain't down with putting stickers on your nipples, dog.
Dude, every set like if I'm wearing like an embroidered thing on my shirt, like the chafage, man, fuck, you gotta protect the nips, dude.
Dude, I did that at a festival. It was hot, and I was walking around just my shirt off, and I just fucking pasted up just to be goofy as hell.
Sometimes I paste my balls just for keeping
that shape for show, son. Making sure you ain't got it, man. That's
when you're out in the sun for like fucking like 12 hours straight, man. It's like you gotta take, man.
Bro, what are you talking about? You ain't outside for 12 hours straight, dog. You a producer. You inside for 12 hours straight. What are you speaking? You know what I'm saying?
To be honest, people are like, I'm chilling backstage in my nice air-conditioned van. Like,
you're in a fucking...
the air conditioner is on my balls. Like.
You're in a trailer with your feet in ice, dude. You're talking about being outside. You write songs about working outside, cold. I said hot, cold days. That makes no goddamn sense. That makes no sense, dude. But Australians do some crazy shit where they drink the beer out of the shoe or the boot.
Well, the shoe, yeah. So the idea is like it's like a dare almost. It's like or like a prank kind of thing. It's like you just get a beer, pour it in a shoe, and then you drink the beer out of the shoe. It's very popular to do. Like everyone wants you to do on stage as well. So it's like,
is it like a rite of passage?
I've definitely done a handful of shoeys on stage before. And it's not out of choice. It's just like, if I'm drunk enough, I'll do it. Like,
oh, yeah, dude. Same, bro. If I'm drunk enough, I'll do anything. You feel me?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, dude. Is that like a rite of passage into the country? You know, if you're like an American DJ going there to DJ, it's like, we accept you, but you got to fucking chug that beer out of that shoe.
It's actually, if you want to become a citizen, that's all you have to do.
Speaking of, is it hard to become a citizen? Was it hard for you to be able to actually live here?
Well, I'm not an American citizen. I am just here on a working visa. So, so like the most common one that most international artists get is called an O1 visa.
Yeah.
And basically the maximum time they give you is 3 years. So I did my first 3 years, and I just renewed my same visa last year. So I've got like 2 years left on my current visa.
And then you got to get your ass back.
And then I can reapply again. But like, who knows, man? Like the way the world's going, it's like I'm just kind of like waiting it out right now. It's like my plan is to stay here for at least the next 2 years and just like see if the world's gone to shit by then. Then maybe consider moving back. But like, it's honestly just like the waiting game, really.
Wait, so if you marry your old lady, will you then?
She's Aussie as well, though.
Oh, well, fuck, bro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
What are you doing, dude? Wait,
yeah. Yeah, we're fucked, yeah.
Yeah, man. Fuck, man. Man, listen, I had an Australian guest last week on the podcast, dude. Y'all are taking over. Y'all are fucking taking over. I'm going to have to build a wall. You know what I'm saying?
Who was it?
Mr. Bill. We're gonna have to build.
He's a legend. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome. But y'all are overtaking, the podcast, dude. I'm going to have to build a fucking wall. Keep you Aussies out.
Mastodon is Australian. I mean, Marauder, sorry. Hydraulics, Oski, Sippy, Alice in Wonderland, Flume. But that's kind of it, really. In terms of like what, people would know.
Yeah, that's crazy, man, because everybody you just mentioned is an animal in the stewed.
Yeah, they're all beasts. What's or Not was Flume, I guess, but now it's like one guy.
Hell yeah.
Trying to think who else. Yeah, they're kind of the main ones, I guess.
But they're majority of them are living out here in America, huh?
Nah. I am. Alice in Wonderland is.
Hydraulics ain't. I don't think.
That's it. Everyone's still living in Australia.
All right.
Everyone else just kind of comes out to tour like a handful of times a year. And like I think especially once COVID hit, like everyone was like, "Fuck this!" They just dips back. But I was like, I ain't scared."
I told that motherfucker, I ain't never scared. Yeah, I ain't never scared. Woo! Yeah, dude, that shit gets you hype. Apparently that guy stole that song, though.
Really?
Bone Crusher. Yeah, I heard a story about how he just completely stole that song. He was playing a show in Jackson, and like he wasn't able to get on stage because the people were so pissed or something like that.
Whoa.
Dope song, yeah. And this could just be a rumor, and I could just be spreading it. These are just things I'm told. Someone should fact check me on this if I'm being honest, if I'm being real. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
Dude, so what have you been doing other than music during COVID, man? This is like we've had more time on our hands than probably any time in history ever, okay?
Yeah.
So like have you been trying new things, man? You've been going out there and doing new stuff, finding stuff that makes you happy? What you been doing?
Yes and no. Like I think once COVID first hit, I think I was just like I just took that time that probably like the first month or so just to do fucking nothing. Because like I'd been on the road like so fucking much. I just never had a time to just sit down for like a week straight, So then I just took like a month off basically, and it was like perfect timing. It was like Animal Crossing came out at that time, so I was just like on my couch. Like I was on my couch playing in the outside world on my computer, on my TV.
That's the future.
When I was just inside, living vicariously through this little character. So that was pretty much my first month, and then that got kind of boring. And then I started like writing hella music for like a couple months, and then just as of recent, it took me a fucking long time because I spent a lot of time and I just like worked on like this huge sample pack, which I just finished like yesterday. It has like 1,100 samples or something like that, like a big amount of samples, and I just wrapped that up. So that should come out, I think, in like December, I think.
What, you going on Splice?
Yeah, Splice, yeah.
Yeah, dude, you should just send it to me, and I'll,
No, I will.
I'll review
I'm gonna send a care package around to all the friends.
I will advertise it on this podcast. Like you just did.
Yeah.
You just did it, so I mean, I don't even have to do it. Yeah, dude.
Little plug right there, little plug. Yeah, it's really big. It's like it's just like everything that you can imagine from like a PhaseOne sample pack. It's just like all my guitars. Like I recorded like 200 riffs specifically for this pack. Like there's a lot of stuff from my songs as well, but like I'd say like 90% of it is original to the pack, for the pack. There's like all my like signature bass sounds, all my signature drums. It's like literally everything you can imagine. Just like a fuckload of it. So
okay, I'm excited to check it out, man. I have I'm like, I literally, for Splice, I literally have like the most, like, I pay for like the most amount of samples I can get each month. Like I have a dumb amount of samples on my computer just because I feel like I can never have enough.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't use it that often, but like when I do, I just go through all my credits. So every like 3 months, I'll just like be like, hey, what's happening here? And then just find random shit, and like I'll have like 1,000 credits and just end up with like none.
Hell yeah. Dude, can you give me like your most metal growl or roar? You know what I'm saying? Let me get it right.
Oh man, I'm definitely not a vocalist, but I'll try and give you one anyway.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
What the fuck?
Okay, ready? Serious this time. No, I can't even do it.
Hey, fucking! I'm about to punch a wall, son.
Angry noises.
Dude,
my dog's like freaking out. My dog's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Who do I fight? Oh, your camera went out.
Wait,
there we go.
My girlfriend's trying to call. Sorry.
How dare she? Selfish.
I know. I was texting her. Wait.
Right on.
No, she should be fine.
I love how like metal can make any saying like just hard as fuck. Like I can talking about sucking dick and it just sounds like I wanna suck some dick. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. So there's some great ones. Like it doesn't have to make sense. Like there's one band called Between the Buried and Me, and so good. Have you listened to the lyrics of their songs?
No.
Look at their lyrics. They just are like gibberish. It's like I can't recite anything off the top of my head, but like especially off the album Colors. Yeah. Like a few of the songs are just like about a postman or something just random like that. It's like so dumb. Like
some Primus stuff, you know, like Primus has like some of the craziest lyrics I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Yeah, they're like writing about a murderer whose name is Mud, and then like that whole song's about killing somebody, and his name is Mud. It's like amazing. It's a killer that they made up, and his name's Mud. My favorite lyrical metal band by far is Attila. By far.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What are their lyrics about? I don't think I've ever like delved into like the actual lyrics.
So they're kind of like rappers' lyrics in a metal band. They're about like fucking bitches, about partying. You know what I'm saying? Fun shit. It's about, but also they have like inspirational songs where it's like do whatever the fuck you want, and if anybody tells you elsewise, tell them to suck your cock, and it's like I was like, I can get down with that.
That's pretty gangster. Did you know Paul from Mantis? He used to be the bass guitarist in that band.
Yeah. I played with him in Detroit, and I was talking about Attila because we were talking about metal, and I was talking about Attila. I'm a giant fan, and he's like, yeah, I used to play for him. I was like, holy shit! So I was instantly like hooked to talking to this guy.
Dude, it was so funny actually. He toured Australia like 7 years ago. It was like his first Aussie tour, and we played a couple of shows together. And Attila was touring Australia at the same time, and they both had a show on the same night in the same city. So like we went to their show, and then afterwards they came to our show as well. It's pretty random, yeah.
That's awesome, bro. I heard they fucking party, so I'm sure they came to the show and had a good ass time. Yeah. Sort of like, man, I like a good time, bro. I don't give a fuck about nothing but a good time. You know
exactly.
I mean? Yeah, just you only live once. You know what I'm saying? Dude, so since you like, it was Micah, the guy on the Deadline EP. His name
Hanging by a Thread, yeah.
Hanging by a Thread. That song. He. I feel like, what band is he from? A band?
I don't even think so.
Fuck, he sounds like somebody out here, like on one of those bands, like like those post-hardcore bands. Like
you'd think so. He has like that perfect voice for like any sort of band. Like I'm sure he has at least at one stage been in a band. Like you can't like be that good of a vocalist and like not. I don't know. Like, yeah, dude. Like that was definitely my favorite song off the EP. It was like that. Like I don't know, it was like probably like the most different thing I've ever done. And it was like, I'm trying to like do a whole much more melodic stuff these days because like, you know, obviously shows is very like heavy. People want heavy stuff, but because there's no shows, it's like, may as well like make some stuff for like the Spotify, you know, listeners right now.
Yeah.
But like, so it's like, it's still like a rocky kind of metal song, but like with like EDM drop or whatever. But like, I'm kind of writing a bit more stuff like on that kind of level, but maybe not as poppy, but like trying to write some more melodic stuff. Like the other 3 songs on that EP were just like songs I've been sitting on for like a year. So I was like, yeah, I should probably put them out now.
Damn, dude. That's Hang By Thread's my favorite song on the EP too. It's like it's so fucking catchy. I've literally listened to it probably like 4 times a week since it came out, dude. Like I've said, I'm not trying to jerk you off here when I say that, but I'm just, you know, for real, you see? And yeah, I love the poppiness of it. I love like it's still like poppy, but it's still got like that pop punk like little bit of like, post-hardcore feel to it, and that's like shit that I fell in love with for music, you know, whenever I was young.
Yeah, same, dude. And that's like, and like, you know, I think a lot of people expected it to turn heavy. Like, I think they're like, oh, it's going to go like this, and then it's going to turn heavy. Maybe the second drop. It's like, I was like, no, man, let's just keep this like a fucking song. Like, let's keep this a structured song rather than just like build up, drop. Like, I want to like do some more structured shit, like verse, chorus, like, you know.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Hey, sing for the people for 2 seconds. I'm turning the camera back on. Just sing for them. Do anything. Take your shirt off. You can do anything. You can do anything if you put your fucking mind to it.
I can't do anything.
Yeah.
This is awkward. I'm just here with the camera now. This is awkward. I don't know what to say.
No. It's not awkward, dude. You know, I want you to be comfortable.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, there I am. You know what I'm saying?
I did lose you for like a solid 10 minutes there.
Dude,
I couldn't see your pretty face.
You were here without me, baby, but I was just on your lonely mind.
I was pretending to look at you, but like just pretending you were there.
Well, I appreciate you playing along. Dude, so if you could work with anybody from like the rock scene or from any that type of scene, who would you work with?
Gosh, I mean, I've been lucky enough to work with like some of my favorites already, like Periphery and North Lane. Trying to think who else I love. Like obviously, like I think Bring Me the Horizon is like one of the ones, but like the chances of getting them are like really fucking slim because like, you know, they're such high profile.
With that attitude,
there's an Aussie band called Parkway Drive. You probably heard of them.
Oh yeah, I love Parkway.
So basically, like when we did my album last year, like we reached out to like so many artists, and like only maybe like 10 came back, kind of thing. All the other ones were like either no replies or like sorry, we can't do it, or not interested, kind of thing. Parkway Drive at the time were like, I think they just said they're too busy. But I think like since we've done a whole bunch of records with like some pretty high profile names, I think if we show that to them now, maybe they might want to be on board, especially like because they're not touring. So it's like, what the fuck else are you going to do? Write a fucking record with me.
Yeah, let's make some dubstep, dude. So whenever you do get these bands on board to do these tracks, whenever the product's finished, whenever they're done with it, are they just kind of like whatever? Or are they usually like pretty like fucking stoked on the outcome, or like where does that? Because I feel like, you know, as time goes by, people are getting a lot more open minded to like, you know, mixing the electronic with the live stuff. But I still feel like there's those bands that are like, fuck, you know. So what's usually like that outcome, Bob, of that? Well,
usually it's just the vocalist from the band I'm working with, like because like I just do all the guitar and everything else myself. So it's basically just nailing down a like vocalist for the song, really. But like then we just attach like the band name to it as long as they're cool with it. Like if they're not cool with it, we'll just be like so and so from so and so band. Like it's like. But the cool thing is like usually they're happy for us to like credit the band on Spotify and stuff, so it appears on their stuff, which is cool. Sometimes, I mean, the bands I worked with have been pretty stoked on the outcome and have like shared it and everything like that. I think there's only been like one band that maybe didn't. I can't remember which one it was, but everyone seems pretty stoked, man. It's like it's something new for them, I guess. You know, like
Yeah, I love that. I love your track with Northlane. I'm glad you brought that up. I remember that track, dude. Like I think it's like as far as reaching out to those type of artists, I think it's just like you, Keizo, are the only ones that are really reaching out to those type of artists to come on your songs, man. It's exciting, but also it pisses me off. You know, because I'm like,
in what way?
because I'm like, fuck, I wanted to work with that band. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I'm just like, fuck, man. But it definitely fits the vibe a lot more for sure, man. So is it weird? Like, I want to know how it is reaching out, because it's even a little weird for me reaching out to artists to be like, hey, I know we've never talked, but I have this podcast. You know what I'm saying? You want to come on the fucking Is it weird reaching out to bands like, hey, love your shit, collab, bro? Like, what is that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a bit awkward sometimes, but like, I think for the most part, because I like played in like bands for so many years, like I think I made enough connects for people to like know me as well. Like back like 15 years ago, like before North Lane was North Lane, like I used to play with some of the members from North Lane and like in like different bands and stuff like that. So we knew each other already. So to reaching out for that was easy. Like we've been talking about doing it for like years, and then just finally made it happen eventually. Who else was there? I don't know, but like that was obviously the easiest one. But yeah, sometimes it's like a shot in the dark. Like usually my manager does it for me. Like he just like will like ask around and stuff. Like he tries to make it more professional rather than being like an artist, like, hey, you want to collab? Like,
yeah, dude. It feels. I mean, I feel weird doing it just for the podcast, bro. Like I've turned to a point where EDM Twitter has been the people to ask for me, because I messaged you like on all fronts and you ignored me. Okay, let me just say that.
I'm sorry, I suck with all that shit, man.
It's all good, dude. EDM Twitter has my back, dude. Shout out everybody who's listening that's on the Twitters. If you're on the YouTube comments, thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Love it.
Would you play in another band? Like if you met like, you know, like just the right guys around, would you take it serious and try to do another band?
I don't think I'd want to start a band from ground up. I think I'd want to join an established band probably. Like I've done that too many times. Like even try and just like do anything. It's like I'm 31 now, so I don't have the time to just like, hey, let's like make a new band and like try and make it. You know, it's like nah. I got bills to pay, dude. Like,
dude, come on, you got to get rid of that mindset, bro.
I know, like. You're a fucking sellout, bro. I know. I get it. Like,
no, dude, you can do anything you want, bro. Anything you want in life. Just
I do it for fun. Like I do it for fun for sure. But like I wouldn't try and like pursue it as like a career option.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you. Yeah, dude. Like Leonard Skinner's like, hey, we're gonna go touring again. You want to come play for us? You'd be like, hell yeah.
Dude, fuck yeah. I don't care.
Fuck yeah.
Play for anyone. I don't give a fuck.
Country band would pick you up. You'd be all about it.
Dude, beers and tractors, dude.
You already got it, bro. You already got the vibe, yeah. Hell yeah, dude. So your latest track, it's a collab with the Excision Man, the X-Man, dude.
The Excision.
The Excision. What was that like working with him, man? Like, I know y'all have probably, you know, over the years, the relationship's probably gotten a lot better. But like, what was this y'all's first time collabing?
Yeah. So I mean, fuck, we've been like, I mean, everyone's been friends with Jeff for so long, but it wasn't until this year that he brought me on the Evolution tour with him.
Yeah.
So we that got cut halfway through because of COVID, but like we got through half that tour, or just over half that tour, and the idea behind it was like we're on tour together, we may as well fucking write a song. So I started the idea and kind of just got the first kind of rough thing going. And then we had this like idea that we were just like alternating like playing on tour. So like one night I'd play it, the next night he'd play it, kind of thing. And then it was just kind of like this idea that we just had just for like encores or whatever. And then it wasn't until like more recent that like in the last few months that he was like, all right, send me the stems, let's do it, because it obviously had his new label coming out, so he wanted to like have some more material and everything. So then, yeah, he worked on it, and then I worked on it, and then he worked on it some more, and then that was it. And then, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty normal process, just like bouncing stems, really. Yeah. nothing really out of the ordinary. And then, like, he told me about the label, and then I'm like, yeah, sweet, let's do that. And then now Subsidio is around, and like, there's like a million tracks on that compilation. But
biggest compilation I've ever seen. I actually got hit up to do that compilation, but I don't personally like doing compilations. And then I saw how many people were on the compilation, and I was like, okay, I'm a little glad I didn't do it, but also wish I would have, because it was hype, bro. It was hype.
Yeah.
good ass comp, man. But it actually
Yeah.
makes me happy how you told me the process was, because usually with somebody like that big, not usually, but some would think with somebody that big, there's like a team of producers that are just bouncing it back and forth. That's nice that it's just you and Jeff.
Yeah. It was pretty straightforward. Like that's kind of, I guess, the most common way like most people would collab online, right? And, like stems or just like Ableton session. Like, I think stems is probably more common. I think these days, like, I think it's easier because like everything's right there. You don't have to like worry about like plugins missing or like anything like that. Like I just drop and drag it in and you're good to go, kind of thing.
How fucking dope was that tour?
Oh man, it was insane. It was crazy. I mean, like the half that we completed was like ridiculous. Like, yeah, I don't know what to say, man. It was like we were just like normally like Jeff. Every year prior to this one, he would do like he normally do way more dates. So he'd do like basically like 5-6 dates a week, doing like all the smaller venues like in smaller cities as well. But this year it was all built around just doing like the big cities and doing like 2 or 3 shows at the same venue kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was mostly weekend shows. There was a few like Wednesday, Thursday shows here as well. But it was mostly just like stacked, like big lineups, like on like these like some of the bigger capacity venues and cities.
Like 20,000 people.
Yeah, dude, like we're playing to like fucking minimum like 10,000 people every night. Like some of the bigger ones are like 20,000. It's just like stupid.
No big
like,
deal. You know what I'm saying? No big deal. Hell yeah, that's awesome, dude. Well, look, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. It's been good for us to catch up and everything. So you and I, okay, me and you, whichever way you want to word it in a sentence. We have the same agent, okay, Mr. Alex Ballack, all right, as some like to call him, Balash. I want us to both go back and forth and just compliment this man really quick. Things you love about Alex. I'm gonna send this to him, and he's gonna like this. All right.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
this is amazing. Are we doing words or are we doing like stories?
Oh wow. Let's do words, like things you like about him. No, actually, if you have a good story, I'd love to hear it. If you have a good story, I'd love to hear it.
Oh man, I mean, like the first one that springs to mind about how good of a person he is was like it was actually one of the first times I actually probably met him. It was like, I think it was on my first or second tour in America ever before I even moved here. I was playing. I did like a Texas run, so I did like I think 2 or 3 shows in Texas, like all in a row, like each day after another. And I was playing in Houston. I had to fly to Dallas, and then like there was like crazy storms and shit, so like I couldn't get to Dallas, and then I ended up getting like the very like last flight, which was the only flight that ended up taking off that day, and it like just made it, and like it landed like an hour after my set was already meant to start. And I was like, just tell the promoter to push me back like an hour, push my set back an hour. Anyway, so we land in Dallas, and there's so much congestion at the airport from other flights coming in. Like we're sitting on the runway for like an hour. Like we're in Dallas, but like we're sitting on the runway just doing nothing. And so I'm like, fuck, like tell him to push it back again. And then like, so he ended up like picking me up. No, that's not true. Promoter picked me up from the airport, and I had like my big like my suitcase luggage with me because I was like touring, like, and like I think I was flying back to Australia from Dallas as well. So like I had all my shit with me. And I was like, man, like the only way for me to actually like make this show is if I go straight to the venue and just leave my luggage at the airport. So he went, fucking like agent I've already met like once or twice before. He goes to the airport just to pick up my luggage while I'm like rushed to the venue just to play the show, and then he brings it to the venue and stuff. Like above and beyond, dude. Above and beyond.
He's a good fucking guy, dude. I actually had a weather thing the first time that him and I hung out. It was actually due to weather. So I was supposed to be playing a show in Dallas, I want to say. Is that where he lives at, or Houston?
Yeah, he lives in Dallas, yeah.
Okay, Dallas. So there's a hurricane coming to Louisiana, as they tend to do. So I flew the day early, and I was like, fuck, bro, I don't have anywhere to stay. Let me stay at his house. We went and had Mexican food, dude. I like the way he talks. Like his voice, I feel safe with him. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, I feel like I could be vulnerable around him. True.
Really stupid though.
Hell yeah, he'll appreciate that. Well, look, Graham, I fucking appreciate you, man. Hope to see you out there soon.
Yes, likewise.
wait, before you go, what's next for PhaseOne, man? What you got to tell the people? What you got coming up?
Um, well, I'm actually heading back to Australia like soon to do some shows out there because like there's parts of Australia which have like no COVID and like they're operating like kind of normally. So I'm kind of fortunate to be able to do that. And like while I'm there, I get to see some family and all that. So that's kind of nice. Got a sample pack. Got some like new bangers I'm working on. I think I've got like 1 or 2 more singles coming out before the end of the year. But like, it's kind of it, man. I'm just chilling, dude. Just writing some tunes. Like,
well, everybody, listen. Make sure to go check all that shit out when it comes out, and I'll let y'all know how that sample pack is because Graham is totally gonna send that to me.
I am.
All right, buddy. Well, look, I appreciate you, bro. You have yourself a good one, dude.
Thank you, brother.
PhaseOne, everybody. And that was Mr. PhaseOne, everybody. What a cool cat. Didn't seem that metal. You know, usually those metal guys are angry. They have so much anger built up. But he did not. But I hope y'all enjoyed that. I had a good time talking with him. He's fun. That's going to be it for this week's episode, man. Appreciate everybody checking it out. Go listen to the EP if you haven't. Next week, I'm not having an artist. I'm having my crazy-ass redneck stepbrother on the podcast. And I'm actually going to open up the hotline again, like I used to in my older episodes. So anybody who's listening can call in, ask questions, leave a message, and we'll check it out. We're just going to get drunk and tell wild stories and answer y'all's questions. So, that's going to be it, man. I love y'all. Y'all have a good weekend, dude. You deserve it. You deserve it. So, love y'all. Peace.